feel like there's a lot of irony surrounding Raiders merchandise. Although, the Raiders colorway is very simple, not much variety, only a couple logos in their existence. There actually is a lot of variety surrounding different cities because they played in different cities, across their history. Vegas, Oakland, and LA. And then, of course, you can get merchandise like this with no city. So I've kind of updated like personal guidelines I've had for myself when buying Raiders merchandise. I used to be anti-Las Vegas merch, and I would just really shoot for no city like this or Oakland stuff. But, I kind of broke it down into different tiers, like a hierarchy of what I would consider, my preferable merchandise. But I'm open to all four of the types of merchandise you can get, whether it be Oakland, Vegas, LA, or no city. So take a typical Raiders hat, for example. If I'm just in the market for a Raiders hat, I'm first gonna look at Oakland stuff. And the problem with getting Oakland stuff, and this goes for LA too, but Oakland as well, because they played in two different eras in Oakland, is a lot of the merchandise is cool, but some of it's outdated. And also their final years in Oakland, they didn't make as much merchandise, so some of it can be kind of ugly. That being said, though, I think I always try to shoot to get the Oakland merchandise as much as I can before the other cities and whatnot, because it's like it's cooler in my opinion. It is the city that I think they belonged in. But if I can't get Oakland, I would go to LA. LA Raider stuff is pretty cool in my opinion. I know a lot of people were bitter about the move when it happened, but I wasn't alive to see the move, so it doesn't really apply to me. I also respect the fact that they won a Super Bowl in LA. A third of their Super Bowls were LA, and I respect that. So of course LA Raiders merchandise I think is cool, especially considering a lot of all-time greats like Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, etc. played for the LA Raiders. Howie Long. So that would be my second choice. And then if we're taking the same variable, the same hat, and I can't find it in LA, or I can't find a cool one in LA, maybe, imagine a script Raiders hat, then I would go to no city like this. And I think no city stuff is pretty neutral. I think a majority of the Raiders merchandise I own is no city. It's just Raiders, like the shield, or it's just, the standard logo and whatnot. And I think the no city stuff is catered to a fan that just really isn't attached to a certain city or era, because obviously there's Raider fans in Nevada, SoCal, and NorCal, and there's a lot of Raider fans elsewhere. There's also a lot of Raider fans that don't care where they play. So I think this is probably like the most neutral stuff. But the interesting thing is, take like a random team in the NFL, maybe the Los Angeles Rams. Most of their merchandise, if not all, says LA on it. Even their logo is LA. Maybe take another team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Most of their merchandise says Tampa Bay. Most Raiders stuff doesn't say the city on it. I guess now more recently, a lot of the stuff says Las Vegas. But that was kind of Al Davis's vision. It was a smart marketing campaign. Really, the Raiders don't have an attachment to one city. They, are kind of just internationally famous, nationally too, and kind of more West Coast. So let's say we're taking the same variable and I can't find it in no city, and this is kind of the updated guideline. Then my last resort would be Las Vegas. I'm wearing a Las Vegas cap right now, and I only own 2 of them. So I'm not anti-Las Vegas merch. I used to be anti-Las Vegas merchandise when they first moved, but then I realized that there's going to come to a certain point where that's kind of all you're going to be able to get. And some of the Las Vegas stuff, I hate to say it, is pretty cool. And also it goes on sale quite frequently because I don't think it's really as popular as the vintage market. I think the Raiders know that. So I kind of, take that into account. And so, that's kind of the guideline update. It's more of a, an enactment that I implemented. Las Vegas merchandise is something I'm technically in the market for if if it's, a viable hat or shirt to get, right? If I see a cool one, or I just think I need it, then I'll get it. But like I said, Oakland, LA, and no city are still favored above it in, like, if you can visualize a triangle, which I'll put in the thumbnail. So like Oakland would be at the top, followed by Los Angeles, no city, and then Vegas, of course. And I think this is good because maybe you can make your own if you're a fan of the Raiders. Really, it doesn't really apply to any other team, maybe besides like the Rams, I guess, a team that's moved multiple times. But yeah, I think it's hard if you're a Raiders fan because you have this different selection. It's ironic because, like I said, this is very simple. This is simple, like the logo and whatnot, colorway. very few different designs in Raider history, but you also have the variety of different cities. So yeah, it's always going to be Oakland merchandise first for me, but I'm not anti-Las Vegas merchandise anymore because they made the playoffs in Vegas, and it's like, imagine they win the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. All the merchandise is going to say Las Vegas Raiders Super Bowl champs. It's unavoidable. Might as well, hop on it now. And I think No City is kind of a good solution to that too, because that's kind of the why the Raiders are very marketable. So yeah, anyways, guys, kind of thought I'd clear that up, and let me know your thoughts if you're a Raiders fan as well, because I can imagine it's different for everybody. So yeah, anyways, guys, see you guys later, and yeah, go Raiders.